Good morning. Welcome to week 7. I was just thinking this morning as I was looking out at the snow flurries and the kind of gray skies and remembering just memories from spring. And it made me think a little bit. You know what this weather is perfect for? It's perfect for studying for the OGT. I remember I just was thinking that this morning made me think back to college when spring would hit and nobody would want to study, and we'd be out on the grass throwing frisbees, and the girls would all be laying out trying to get a spring break tan, and all these memories of spring that when the weather gets nice, it's much harder to buckle down. So in some ways, these days of excuse me, gray weather are a perfect gift for us to remind us that there's really nothing to do but study right now. And we'll know that spring is around the corner so that when the studying is done, we can go out and throw a frisbee, all right? So, what are we going to do this week? Well, speaking of OGT, we're going to get you ready for the OGT by having you do a little review. Maybe you're a regular attender of the OGT Thursday boot camps, and you can do this off the top of your head. But we encourage you, even if you've already seen these, to go back and watch 2 of the recordings found in the OGT boot camp folder for this week. Share out 2 things you learned while watching those videos. And if there's not 2 this week, there will be different ones different weeks. But I think that they're all going to be loaded into the OGT Bootcamp folder. So something to watch and report back on. And you can get there by just clicking here on the discussion board and it'll get you there. Okay? In reading workshop this week, we're going to have some stories, okay? And this will look a little bit different for you than what it is right now, because we go in and we do a lot of cleanup before we send these pages out to you. So this is closed right now, but you can get into it later. A narrative is a story, and we've been writing narratives, so we're going to read narratives this week. And this is a really interesting little tale. It has all of the settings of a good narrative. There's plot, there's conflict, setting and characters, dialogue, imagery, and theme. Review those terms, then jump into the story. The story is called There Will Come Soft Rains, and it's by Ray Bradbury. There's a little bit of meet the author here, and then some story. The story's not super long. That's all there is to it right there. In your head as you're reading, make the dialogue have voices in your head. Okay, listen to those voices in your head and consider, what the sounds are. Take yourself to where this narrative is. It is a science fiction story. That means it's not true, but it's going to have some science powered elements to it that are going to be more like futuristic, something that hasn't happened yet, that couldn't happen, that may happen, but mostly in our imagination. The other thing we would encourage you to do is, as you're reading it, have the quiz open. Let's look at the quiz questions really quickly right now, just as a preview. Oops, you know what? They're not loaded in yet. Can't do that. Okay, but there will be a quiz here. I encourage you to open it up and look at the quiz as you're reading the story. If it times out on you, just call us and we'll reset the quiz for you. In writing workshop, we're going to get our write on, okay? And this is a review of the prompts that we've been answering in SWOTs lately, and there'll be a 4th one in there. We don't have it added yet. But the SWOT prompts, you guessed it, are actually narrative writing prompts. And you've already done these steps. You've gone through the first step of reading the prompt. You've gone through the second step of highlighting it and then thinking about the type of writing and thinking about your audience. In fact, most of you have gone on and written something. If you haven't, start the process over. But here's what we're going to be doing. We're going to ask you to take one of the prompts that you've already developed and develop it into a full story. Some of you are very close to being there. We're going to ask you to actually open up a worksheet. I'm going to open up my documents right now and show you the worksheet because I just made it this morning. Look at all these fun things that we have. And in SWOT folder, here's the worksheet for this week. Okay, we're going to ask you to copy and paste your prompt here. Then we're going to ask you to go back into the week that you did the prompt originally and copy and paste the feedback we gave you. so that as you write underneath the light bulbs right here, and you'll go on to a second page, no doubt, as you write, you will have a focus point where the arrow is. You'll have a focus point of what you're writing about and for in terms of what feedback we gave you. If you haven't written it yet, do your first attempt now, and you can just write it right here. All the prompts are from the last 4 weeks in the writing folders. Okay, let's return to the class. After you hand it in, we ask you to do one more check through. By the way, this is straight from the OGT, and it's the rubric that they will use to grade your 18-point essay. And I know it's confusing because there's only 6 things here, but then there's 3 more, and then there's 3 more. It all kind of adds up. Okay, so look through all of it's lots of writing, but we want you reading, but we want you to look through your writing. And if you look back at this worksheet, it's asking you to in this step right here to highlight at least 3 changes that you made from your first draft. Think about the Dropbox comments we gave you, as well as the rubric here. Okay, and then we did already mention OGT Bootcamp. That's going to be our discussion board this week. We've got we're going to have a whole page of recordings here that you can click on, and that is my little alarm saying that we have got to make it a day. Talk to you later.